Welcome to the Courtroom Chronicles, Trials of South Africa. Good afternoon, good afternoon. Family, we are going deep. I want us to go deep with this issue, and we are going to talk about this issue until our faces become blue. We are the voice for Jayden Lee Meek, and we need to talk about this. What am I talking about? We are going to talk about visible bruises on the child's body, a hungry child, bloody towels. We are going to listen carefully to what Jayden Dunn, the grandmother, said the first time, not what she said yesterday. I want to talk about what she said last time. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I did a video. The first video was when Jayden Lee Meek was found on a staircase. The second video that I did, there's a playlist. You can check on the page. There's a playlist. You can see all the parts that I've done with the story. So the second one was when the grandmother which is Jayden Dunn and Tiffany Meek, spoke about the child. And we were listening and we were empathetic, and we were just feeling very, very bad, as if we are part of the family. So now I want you to go and watch that video, but there will be things that I will say here about that video. So now we are also going to listen to what she said yesterday. And then we are going to ask if Jayden was being abused, because that's the question that we're all asking ourselves, and who really, really failed him. Because this is bigger than just a court case. It's about all of us. You are a community member. You are a teacher. You are just a South African citizen. You're a mom. This is about you and me. So we are going to get into it. So now, Debbie's first interview, this is what she said. Let's go back just a little bit. What Jayden Dunn, or Auntie Debbie, said. She's the Jayden's grandmother, in case you didn't know. She said the child could have been saved. Those were her exact words, because you know me, I listen when I listen to these people. And then she also said, we were there with 6 officers, but they never searched. So she was blaming them that they didn't search other units. They were so concerned about other units being searched, except the one that the child was in, was hidden under the bed. Ne? And then there are 2 people who loved that boy. It's us. Now she's talking about her and her daughter, that no one loved that boy like they did. Yeah. And then she painted a picture of heartbreak and police negligence, but something is missing, right? Something is missing. Nowhere did she say that Tiffany refused to let the flat be searched. Because this is the story that we had. The transport driver left the child at the gate. The child was seen coming into the complex, but Tiffany said the child never made it to the unit. So we were all asking ourselves, it must have been someone who lives around there. We were asking questions. Is there CCTV footage available? And we're told there's no CCTV footage there. So when she says to us the child never made it to a unit, of course we are going to believe her. But now Debbie didn't mention that Tiffany didn't want the police to get inside the unit and check. Nowhere did she mention that the very place she's talking about is where Jayden's body was found. So already her story is cracking. I hope you see this. Now let us get into the second section now. Yesterday she did a TikTok video. And she said, my child is being framed. That's what she said. Now, let's just fast forward a little bit. Here's what Debbie said on the TikTok yesterday. My daughter is being prosecuted for a crime she did not commit. The activist and the prosecutors are working together against us, against the team. Now, her and her daughter. I don't know with whoever. Our lawyers was not allowed in court. And you do remember that in court, Tiffany was asked where the lawyer is. I think it's a Mr. or Miss Naidu, I don't know. But she said the lawyer was supposed to be here. So she's telling us the lawyer was in court, but outside. And the activist didn't allow the lawyer to get inside. This is what we're hearing from her. And then she says, we've lost faith in the justice system. So before I carry on about what Auntie Debbie has said, I want to go back on the last one where the first time they spoke to the media with the mom. She said the police had taken their phones. So the police had taken Tiffany's phone and her phone as the grandmother. And she said the police were listening to people around them, I'm guessing the neighbors, that what people were saying about them, the two of them, and do not believe what they are saying about those people. So even the last time Auntie Debbie was saying, it's the police, it's the people around us who are against us, my daughter and I. And yesterday she's saying the same thing, that the activists and the prosecutors are against, they're working together against us. So now I want you to listen to this family. We are not stupid. Please, Auntie, we are not. You want us to forget what was found. Jayden's body was hidden under the body. That's what the private investigator said. That the body was hidden under the bed. There were bloody towels and face cloths in the bathtub. There was head trauma. A blunt force is not an accident. Jayden was hit with something that was hard on the head. So all of these things, now you are crying and you that you were not let into the courtroom. Ma'am, please, Auntie, please, Auntie, not now. Yeah. So let us break this down. If Jayden never made it to the unit, like what Tiffany said, then who put him under the bed? Because now that we're talking forensics, yesterday someone just decided to talk nonsense in my comment section and say that people know what DNA is. And you can't assume that everyone knows. And besides, this is how I choose to do my content. If you don't like it, please, you can go and open your own channel, or go in and talk to people who know what DNA is. So now this is where I'm getting at, that they said the child was under the bed, under blankets. So if Tiffany really is being framed, who did all of that? Who cleaned up the blood? Because the UV light was the one that was showing that there's been something here that was cleaned up. Because that's how it is with blood. It's DNA. God made it to be like that. You can try and clean it, but there's something that is used to show that there was blood here. So who cleaned up that blood? Who put those towels in the tub? Is she still being framed? And if you say you are being framed for what? What exactly are you being framed for? Are you framed for the bruises that your child had when the child was seen at school? That the child had visible bruise to show that the child is being abused. For hunger, because they said the child had visible bruises and the child was hungry. And I'm asking myself, as the grandmother who said that, if there's anyone who loves the child, it's me and the mother. Didn't you know that this child goes to school hungry and has visible bruises? So who's framing who for what? For the silence. Auntie Debbie, you said there are two people who love that boy. But what kind of love hides a body in a flat, cleans up blood, and refuses police to search the place? What type of love is that? Maybe we do not know love. Maybe we do not know. So I don't know what she means when she said that. So let's talk about responsibility now, the legal side of things, community versus professionals. Jayden showed up at school hungry and bruised. Here's what Steve Mabona from the Gauteng Education Department said. She said preliminary reports suggest there's truth to the abuse claims. They're still doing investigations. They're still going to ask at school who saw this and why was that not reported. They said, yes, schools are closed, but the management has agreed to see the people who are investigating, and they will be talking about that. So, and activist Luke said, when communities suspect something, they do not need proof. They need to report. It's a moral duty. I've always said, if you've been watching and listening to me for some time, even with the Jayden Smith case, I had said that we need to be that type of nosy neighbors. Be a nosy neighbor who reports. You can call someone anonymously and report that I can see bruises on this child. This child sometimes comes to me hungry. There's negligence. You can report this to social workers because it's a social issue. So Uluk, the activist, was saying that it is a moral duty for us as neighbors and communities to do that. But schools and teachers, he said, they don't have a choice. It is just, it's not just about moral duty, it's legal. Because now as a teacher, you are obligated to report such a thing. You cannot hide such a thing. So under Section 110 of the Children's Act, teachers, principals, and social workers and doctors, they are legally obligated to report suspected abuse. You know, when as a neighbor, you are not, you can say you are not legally bound, but it's a moral duty. But the people that I've just mentioned, legally, they have to report that. And if they didn't, they can be prosecuted. That's what he said. So let me talk to you, to teachers and neighbors. Let's report anonymously. You do not need hard evidence. You need a gut feeling and a heart. Because we are saying we are mothers and we are saying Jayden could have been saved. And I'm thinking now they've interviewed also the people who live around there. Uguti, what type of a child was this? What did you see? And you know, talking when it's too late, it doesn't help. So I'm hoping and praying that we are also learning from all of this, because if anyone had made that call, maybe, just maybe, Jayden might be alive. And yeah, so those are the things that we are seeing now. I want us to get to this now. The PR pattern. Bestie, family, this isn't the first time we've seen this PR strategy, like I said. The tears, the victimhood, the public videos, and the distraction. What Debbie said, they took our phones. They're listening to untrustworthy people. They didn't let us inside. So now I've already talked about that this is what Debbie has said. And she said that to the reporter that interviewed them the last time. But here's what she didn't tell us. That Tiffany refused to let that flat be searched. She didn't tell us that the body was hidden, that the blood was being cleaned up. You also didn't tell us that Tiffany said in her interview, Jayden always wanted to be viral. I don't know if you saw that. I saw that on TikTok, where she said, Jayden always wanted to be viral. Viral meaning famous. He always wanted to be famous. And if you did watch the Jayden Smith trial, the whole of it, you will know that Kelly Smith said the same thing. Said, I always wanted to be famous, but I didn't know that my child will make me famous. Now we are hearing also this one is saying it. Can't do what's going on, guys. Excuse me, your child was just murdered, and that's what you remember. That's your child wanted to be famous, to go viral. And now you just expect us to just move on just like that. No, guys, no. So this is what real justice means. We hold everyone accountable. Family, police, school, neighbors, even ourselves. We must hold ourselves accountable. We don't ignore signs of abuse. We don't tell PR speeches that we've written down and we are just doing it. I don't know. I don't know if you saw that. Jayden was 11 years old. He was bubbly, loved, he was quiet, he deserved a future, and he died in a place that should have protected him. So let's not be, the final words that I'm going to say, they must not gaslight the public. Please don't play victim when a child has lost their life. We are not stupid. We are watching, and we are not going to stop speaking until Jayden gets justice that he deserves. Justice for Jayden. And with all that being said, God bless. See you in the next one. Ciao.